drpwebtutor.com. This is Hardeep, and in this presentation we will show you the absent request in self-service. We'll also talk a little bit more about certain other aspects which are associated with the absence process. So let's see what we have as a part of this video tutorial. So the first thing we will show you is an example of a work schedule, and then we will show you how to associate that work schedule with an employee's assignment. Then we will use the self-service responsibility to view the entitlement balances for an absence. We will then see how we can apply for a leave of absence using self-service. And finally, we will see the manager approval and how an absence entry is created in the system. So let's get into the applications and let's get things started. So I'm logging into the application. I have created an employee and I have associated with this particular user. I will navigate first into my self-service responsibility. I have this demo employee self-service. Right now it only has the create absence. So here you can see that on my self-service screen, I have two tabs. One is the absence summary, which will tell me if I have applied for an absence. You can search using different absence type or the absence category, start date, end date, and in here you will see all the absence that has been created. The other tab is for entitlement balances. Right now this employee test accrual has a vacation plan tied to him and has accrued 30 hours of vacation. So before we start creating an absence, I want to show you how the work schedule is being used for this particular demo and how it will help me in creating an absence by excluding the non-work days such as the weekends, if there's any public holidays. So when I enter my absence with the date range, it's going to exclude my weekends and national holidays that I have defined in the system. In order to do that, I have to create a work schedule. I have to create my the national holidays. I have to create a pattern, and then I have to associate that work schedule with this particular employee. If you want to know how to create the work schedules in details, you can take a look at my video tutorial on absence management, and in that video we will you can see how I have created the schedule. It's more detailed, but in this video I'm going to show you just a quick overview of what I have done and how I have associated that particular work schedule with this employee. So for that, I need to go to my the demo US Super HRMS, which is my configuration responsibility, work structures, work schedules, schedule, and you can go to the schedules. Now in here, let's first take a look at the holidays before we look at the schedules. So for that, we need to look at the work schedules, and underneath that I have something called the maintain schedules. And then in order to create your national holidays, go to the setup and open the global exceptions. So for the purpose of this videos, I've created a couple of few holidays. The New Year's, the common holidays that is usually observed in the United States, I've created those. The New Year's, Martin Luther King's Day, the President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, the day after Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So I'm going to associate these holidays with my schedule. So I have a schedule, but before I create the schedule, I want to show you something which is my schedule pattern. So I have a calendar based pattern that I have created, which is called the demo, US Monday through Friday. So here you will see that this is the schedule that I have, the scheduled pattern that I have created. Let's go to the update mode, it will be easier to understand. So this is the name of my pattern. What I've done is, from the details, I have selected each day and I have added each day in here. So the Sunday and the Saturday are the non-working day, which I have configured by setting the category as not available or busy. The other days, the employee is available to work for 8 hours. So this is my schedule pattern, and this is the schedule pattern that I have used in my work schedule. So this is my work schedule, the demo US Monday through Friday 8 to 5. So if I click here, I will see that this is the pattern that is being used that I just showed you, and I have created the schedule with an effective start date of 2010 January 1st, end date on December 31st 2020. The reason why I have used these dates is because sometimes if you use from 19th of January 1st 1951 to December 31st 4712, just because it has to go through the so many entry into the table, so sometimes it just times out, and sometimes it doesn't work because of the huge amount of data that is being processed by maintaining a schedule using such a wide span. So I have created this span which is kind of reasonable, and in here I have added all the global exceptions, and this is where I have created my schedule. Now I will cancel this and I will go back to my enter and maintain, and I will show you how I have associated my employee to this particular work schedule. So let's take a look at the setup. I'm not going to set it up now because it's already set up in the system, so I don't want to change my effective date. The employee is accrual test. Go to the assignment, others, assigned schedules. So once this assigned schedule page shows up, here you can see that I have associated the schedule by you can click on add schedule. You can search for, I'll just show you, you can search for the category and then go for search, and then you can see all the schedules, and then you can select the one that you want to add to that employee and just click add. I'm not going to add it here because it's already assigned to this employee. Once you add that, you make sure that you click on the publish schedule and also click on the start and then click apply. Otherwise, just assigning the schedule is not enough. You have to publish and you have to start, you have to click on the start button so it processes in the background and associates all the date spans that that this particular employee is going to follow the schedule. Now by default it's going to use the effective start date and end date of the work schedule, which is effective start date here and the effective end date here. Now if you want, you can always override this particular work schedule for this particular employee. So this is what I have done here. So this is all about associating the work schedule with the employee. So we are done with that, and now we're going to go back and start creating my absence. So for creating my absence, I need to go to my self-service responsibility, which is my demo employee self-service. In here, you need to go to your view create absence. So this is the screen that I showed you in the beginning. So this is the screen where you're going to create your absence. Now click on create absence. This page appears where you're going to select your absence details. The status can be confirmed or planned depending on what you want to do. So it has the seeded note saying that if you want to select confirmed, if you're sure the dates of your absence. Otherwise you can select planned. Select an absence type and enter any other information you want to record for your request. And then I am selecting the option of confirmed, I have my vacation plan that I'm going to use. The moment I select my vacation type or the absence type as vacation, you can see here that the total is coming out as hours. That is because my absence type has the element which is taking an input value of hours. So that is driving my information here on how the total duration will be calculated. So if you define reason in the system on your absence type, you will see those in here, but right now I don't have any absence reason. I will select a date start. I'm putting in, let's say I'm planning, I have taken the absence, or let's plan this absence in the future. So I will plan something on, I will take a leave from July 3rd, and I will come back, say on July 8th. So I will be gone from July 3rd to July 8th. So if you notice here, in this, I'll just show you in here, look at the calendar here. July 4th, in my configuration of my work schedules, I have said that July 4th is a global exception or a national holiday. So if I'm applying for a leave from the 3rd to the 8th, which has a holiday, the 4th, and includes 2 weekends, so the 6th and the 7th. So from the 3rd to the 8th, which actually has 6 days, I'm actually seeing that there are 2 non-working days and 1 public holiday. So effectively, out of the 6 days, I should be actually taking leaves for 3 days, and in my case I work 8 hours a day, so it should be 24 hours. So if I click on the calculate duration, let's see what happens. Right there I can see that it's calculating 24 hours. So this is where my using the work schedule is being useful. So if I did not have my work schedule associated with this employee, I would have to manually figure out what the actual duration is, how many weekends are there, if there's any holiday included in that. So by having a work schedule, it automatically calculates the actual duration, excluding the non-working days and the holidays. So that is something really cool. Now, if you want to replace, when you're gone on vacation by somebody else, you can use this, and you can select somebody from the list. I will just show you, but I will not use anybody. So I can click go, and I should be able to see all the employees that are assigned or that are defined in the system. Again, this does not, it's not so restricted by the business group, so you can see that I can see people from outside my business group as well. So that is something you might have to take a note. So I don't know if there's any way of restricting it just by personalizations or by profile, but that is something you might check. But usually as a default functionality, it doesn't restrict that list. Just the same way as you have your supervisor. That supervisor list is not restricted by business group. You can always assign a supervisor who is outside the business group. Similar way, you can replace yourself by somebody who is not just within your business group, but is outside. You can put in some comments. You can attach some document that you want as a supporting document. Now, once I hit next, it will take me to the review page where I will see what I've entered. And in my case, I've also enforced some kind of an approval process when I'm applying for my leave. So when the employee applies for a leave, it goes to his immediate supervisor, and once that is approved by the supervisor, the process gets saved in the system. So let's click next. This is my review page, and you can see your absence details. Yeah, you can just hover around here. You will see your balances again here. So that's something cool. If you want to see your balances in the future, you can just change your effective date to sometime in the future. Let's say I just choose some arbitrary date, and I can see that it's changing based on my effective date. So you can actually, this is something really cool in Oracle, that by using your accruals, you can see your entitlement balances in the future. So that is something that is really powerful. So anyways, so I am going to, here also I can see that I can do some, there was no supporting document, so it's blank. And here I can see that my manager is showing up as an approver. Now there's again something really cool, which is called the ad hoc approver. So that is something you might want to use, or if you don't want to use something like this, you can personalize and remove this. But on the seeded page it appears, and I just want to show you, how that thing works. So once you click on this node, it expands. So what it does is it will let you add an additional approver besides the normal approver list that is generated by your AME. So if you want some additional folk to be added as a part of the approval process, you can always do it. Maybe who knows, your manager doesn't like you, so your manager might be rejecting your approval, your leave request. So why not add somebody else just to make sure that your leaves gets approved? So the two different types you can select, whether it's going to be a particular person, user, or it can also be a position. So if you're selecting the people option, you can again search for all the people in the system. And in the exact same way, it doesn't restrict the list by the business group. So you can add somebody else in the list. Also, if you don't want it to be an approver, you just want somebody else to know that you'll be on leave, you can add somebody as an FYI. So again, the next thing is the insertion point. So if you select, so by default, you will have two options. One is the approver that has been defined or assigned by the AME, and the other one is the append to list, which is telling you that you can add somebody at the end of this list. So let's append to list, and let's see where it goes, and I'll just show you how that thing behaves. So let's just put somebody in there. So I'm selecting an FYI, and insertion point is append to list. So you can see here that this person that I'm selecting is added after my original approver. Now let me delete this, and if I insert, my insertion point is the original approver instead of append to list, let's see what happens. So you can see that the Ken Walker gets the notification before your approver. So you can add somebody whether before the original approver or after that. So again, I will not keep it, but this is something really cool that your company might want to use. So for this purpose, we will not use that. We will just have my default approver, and I will submit. So once the process is submitted, you will see there's a confirmation which is saying that the changes have been submitted for approval. Now let's log in as the manager. So now I'm logging as the manager. The username for the manager is John Mann, and as soon as I log in as the manager, I can see that I have received a leave of absence request from test accrual. Click on this for the manager, and this is what you see. You will see the absence details. You will see pretty much everything that was there on the review page. So, and in the action history that you can see that on the May 26th, this particular thing was submitted by test accrual to joint manager, which is myself at this point, the person who is logged in. Now, there are a couple of options here, 4 different options. Approve is just approve the process. If you reject it, it's going to be rejected straight away. It will be canceled, and the employee will be notified. You can reassign it to somebody, and then you can request information. So approve, reject is pretty clear. Reassign is, let's see what happens. So you will see that you can assign this notification to somebody else. 2 options, delegate or transfer. As you can clearly see that there's a tip here, delegate is to give another user authority to respond to a notification on your behalf while still retaining ownership. So you still own this notification. Or you can do a transfer, which will give the other person a complete ownership of this particular notification. So if you don't want to approve this, you're not sure that you should be approving this or it should go to somebody else, depending on what the situation is, you can do a delegate or a transfer. We will not do either of those. The next thing is request information, which will send something to either the workflow participant, which is test accruals. It means that you are asking for some more information from the requester itself. Or you can also send anybody else the same thing, saying that, oh, this person is asking for a leave on so and so date, so I want to verify something, whether does he have enough leave, is he eligible for that leave. So you can verify n number of information. You can send an request information from payroll, from benefits, from HR, all different kind of people, and then you just select this any user. In the employees and user, you can select an Oracle applications user or an employee or somebody else, and then you can add in your note in here. Please send me more details. And again, we will not use this. I was showing you how you can use this request information functionality. Let's cancel this. And the last piece that I wanted to show you is there are 2 options in here. One is return for correction. So if it is return for correction, it's going to go back to the employee, and then the employee will, you're saying that, oh, we got a lot of work, so you cannot be absent, you cannot take a day off on the 8th, you have to be in office. So, please edit your absence request and, send it back to me again. So then you will use this return for correction. So once you click on this, it's going to go to test accrual, which is who is the requester, and you're going to select this person and make a note, saying that, please, you have to be in the office on the 8th, so change it until the 7th, and then you can submit that. Again, I will not submit that as well. And the last thing is an update action, which is nothing but, you got this notification, and you can edit this information on behalf of the employee. So once you click on update action, it will take you to the page where the employee had created the absence, pretty much the create absence page. So you can edit on behalf of your employee. Let's cancel this again. And let's do something that we planned to do in the beginning. Approve this leave request. Let's approve this. So once it is approved, I just need to do something real quick, which is I need to run my workflow background process. Now, if you don't know what the workflow background process is, this is a process that needs to run so that your workflows gets cleared and do not get stuck on the deferred thread once all the approval processes are complete. Usually what happens is this is something that is scheduled by your DBA to run at a certain interval, and then you don't have to run it after you do a transaction. So in your production environment, this particular process will be a scheduled process, and you don't have to worry about this. So, okay, so my process is complete. So now I need to see the employee getting a notification after this. So now, if I refresh my home page, I will see that I got a notification from sysadmin saying that my leave of request has been approved. If I click on this, I will see that this is just a notification and it does not require a response, because at this point the leave request is already created. So I can say, okay, I can request more information from somebody. Again, this is something that most companies do not use, so you can personalize and hide the request information button from this particular notification. You can also hide the reassign, because at this point you would not want your employee to reassign this particular process to somebody else because it has been approved by the manager. So the employee says okay, and the notification is gone. Now let's go back to my self-service responsibility and see what happened. And I will go back to my apps, and in here I can see that I am now seeing the absence that I had requested for from July 3rd to July 8th. It is confirmed. The duration is 24 hours. I can still update this because I haven't really, we are not on that particular date yet. So, if it's a vacation, even if it's confirmed, and if your date hasn't, so if I'm on July 4th or July 3rd, I would not be able to update this. But as long as I am before that, I am able to update this information. I can even withdraw this. So click on details, you will see all the details in here. So as you can see here, your entitlement balances, if you change your effective date to July 8th, you will see that it has taken out the 24 hours that you had requested for. Now, one last thing that I wanted to show you is, let's go back to the core forms and see how the entry has been created. Navigate to enter and maintain, search for the employee, and in others, absence, you can see that an entry has been created in the system. So if you have not taken the leave, or you don't want to take the leave at all, and this needs to be deleted, somebody in HR can always come here and delete this particular leave. Once it is deleted from the core forms, if you navigate then to your self-service, you will see that that information has been gone. So again, this is something that is usually restricted to your HR group, who would have access to these core forms and not the employee or the manager. So this is something that is useful to know, that in case you haven't taken the leave, there's a way to delete that through a delete functionality in the core forms. So that would be all. I hope that was useful, and we will come up with more useful videos like this. Thanks for watching.